Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody. So today we are talking about how to build the life of your dreams in a very scientific way. So hi, my name is Joanna. If you're here for the first time, I am a transformational life coach, and let's dive right in. So today we want to talk about how to create the life of your dreams, and I am going to talk about the fundamentals because the fundamentals are so important. Yeah, it's so important to go back to the fundamentals. And I want to invite you, even if you've heard those things before, I want you to listen and I want you to dive deeper with the same information. Okay. So the very first question is always, what would you love? What would you really love, right? The amount of growth you can achieve is directly linked to the amount of honesty you can accept or face around yourself, right? It is so, so, so important to be brutally honest with yourself, brutally honest in a way of opening up all of the protection that you have created around your reality, like who you really are, right? Your heart. And we could go down the rabbit hole of talking about narcissism and things like that, but that's actually what it is. Like if you are not willing to look at your flaws, you will not grow. Okay, so I want to ask you again, what would you really love? And what do you know you will have to change for that? Yes, because again, I want to share with you, and this is highly, highly valuable. So I am just going to share two of the five transformational principles that I teach inside my Dream Builder program. And it's a real scientific formula. So, number one, the number one thing you need to practice in order to create the life of your dreams is to notice what you're noticing. It's a very easy way to say, become more self-aware, right? Notice what you're noticing is what is being attained by meditation, right? We do meditate because we want to become more self-aware. We want to realize or notice what we are thinking. We want to notice what we're feeling. We want to notice like what we are doing, right? We want to notice what we are saying. We want to notice what we are paying attention to. All of those things can be observed by ourselves or by our higher self, by our observer self, right? So the very first and very important thing we got to do in order to change ourselves and create the life of our dreams is to notice what we are noticing, right? Number one. Number two, notice, as I said, notice what you are longing for. As I said, be honest. Notice what you're longing for and notice what you're discontent with, right? Really look at your life. One of the formulas that we use to look at our whole life is to look at health, relationships, your work, your vocation, your career, and your time and money freedom in order to really become specific about what it is, like what area of your life are you feeling the deepest longing, right? For change, for something else, and where are you feeling the biggest discontent? Because we live in a world of duality. We want to notice both. And also, to be honest, also with myself, is most of the time as human beings, we are pushed by pain. Many times we're pushed by pain, right? We have to go to work because we need to make that money. It is more of a dread, right? Instead, and this is where we like jump onto the other side, is that we are pulled by a vision. This is where things get juicy. This is where things get good. we don't only want to be pushed by pain, so we have to do it, right? Sometimes there are phases in our lives where we have to do things. We have to, and it's good. Like both is serving us to grow. The pushing by pain or the pulling by longing, both will like lead us into a direction of growth, of movement, right? Push or pull, right? And both is leading us upward, hopefully, right? So, number one, notice what you're noticing. Number two, notice your longing and discontent. Okay, so the next thing that I already shared is really tap into what would you love? What would you really love? Because most of the time, if we're not fully connected to what it is that we would really love, we will be distracted. We will talk ourselves out of the things that we actually really want. We will be, like, again, distracted by the circumstances that we're in, by the situations that we're facing, by people, by places, by things, by social media, by everything. Like from the beginning of, I don't know, humanity or at least philosophy, people have been talking about that this life is so distracting and we can lose ourselves in this shiny objects. We can lose ourselves in the glitter that is not gold, right? We can lose ourselves in the dopamine hit. Today, we've already come to the place where we know that there is something inside of us that is seeking, it's like an addiction. We're seeking the pleasure, right? We're seeking pleasure to avoid pain, but we got to avoid, like, we got to mature out of that, right? We really got to mature out of that in order to become bigger. Like, we're no longer here to only satisfy our quick fixes, our immediate cravings, but we really want to create a bigger vision and to overcome the impulses of just seeking pleasure and avoiding pain and really just following something bigger than us. Okay, so very, 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 very important. Be aware of what it is that you would love so you can withstand distraction, dissuasion. Dissuasion means like talking yourself into something or out of something. I think that's so amazing, especially when we are in conversation with other people. I always say, even to my clients or my potential clients, like I have clarity calls or discovery calls with my clients. And the most of the time, and you probably know that scenario as well, in a sales call or maybe in a conversation where somebody demands a decision from you, then you're like, I have to think about it. But let's be honest, most of the time, if you have trained yourself to listen to yourself, we know it. We know right away. We know from the beginning. We know it's a yes or a no. Maybe it's a no because you need more information, but most of the time we already know it's a yes or no. So it's a lie. It's a lie and it's a coping mechanism and it's just a way to get out of the situation when the next time you find yourself saying, I think I have to think about that again. And again, it's not good or bad that you want more time to think about it. That's okay. But most of the time, and this is what I want to challenge you to do, is to actually feel into your body and be like, no, or yes, right? We want to get to this point where we can be so connected to our intuition, our inner feeling, our inner knowing that we feel, we get the signal, and then we dare to say yes or no. I love those people. Okay, so let's continue. The next thing here, and that's the last thing for today as well, is that building the life of your dream, being connected to what it is that you would love, leads you to create a life that you want. And there again, there are two things, just like the longing and the discontent. The next thing to build the life of your dream is to either create a life by design, which is creating, which is building, which is intentional, or you will create a life either way. Either way, if you make the decision or not. The other the other option that you have is to create a life by default. That means you will be just living a life out of pattern, out of your childhood trauma, out of your parental conditioning, societal conditioning, out of your fears, out of your habits, out of the things that have been running your life until now. And you can always, again, be honest with yourself. You can see exactly what results your default patterns have created for you until now. If you look again, if you look at your life, at your health, the results never lie. Don't shoot the messenger, right? Don't shoot me. Just look at your life. The results never lie. Look at your health. Look at the quality of your relationships. Look at your work in the world, your sense of purpose, your sense of creative contribution, and look at your bank account. Look at your bank account, look at your assets, look at the things, the material things that you have or own. All of those things have created results, and those results came out of your mindset, your emotional state, in your decision to either create through awareness, notice what you're noticing, creating a life by design, or you haven't made a decision yet. And that's okay. That's okay. That's why we're here. So today is your chance to actually make that decision and to create new results from a new decision, right? Or, and that is what you're going to do if you don't make that decision, you will continue to create a life out of default. And there's a very simple saying backing it up. If you don't change anything or nothing will change, right? If you don't change something, nothing will change. It's so easy. And that's why I said it's the fundamentals. And many times, because we've heard that before, or somebody said it and we didn't want to listen, we continue to just create by default. And I know just for a fact that you have a dream in your heart. You have a desire in your soul to create more of the things that you would actually love living, doing, experiencing. You know that you're capable of so much more. I know that you know it. And I'm just here to remind you. I'm just here to remind you that there is a way. And this is exactly what I teach in my programs. It's a proven, repeatable, reliable system of transformation. I am going to teach you the tools that you use in order to create the life in alignment with your soul's desires, right? It's a system that helps you to make your dreams into reality, right? To create what you have in your heart, to make it manifest, to hold it in your heart or to hold it in your hand. Yes, so that's what I wanted to share with you. There's so much more where this came from. And if you liked what I just shared with you, hit the like button, follow me, subscribe, leave a note, and let me know one thing is, how do you feel about being honest enough to yourself? How do you feel about being honest enough to yourself? Is it easy for you or is it hard for you? Do you ask for feedback? Do you ask people for feedback? I would love that. So until the next time, stay dangerous. Bye.